Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Tennis Manager. This is episode 41. Maybe the last episode of this series. We'll see if it is. I know it had already backed off, and for one, viewership's down a lot. I think it had mostly to do with just the fact that the game came out really, really unbalanced this year. By the time they got that under control, the viewership numbers had just fallen off completely. And so, where Tennis Manager 21 was a big hit on the channel, and the series kept going until the release of 22. 22 has not had that same sort of success. So with a much smaller audience this time, it doesn't make as much sense to continue on. And at this stage, all we have left is, well, one goal remaining. Well, two, some slams and the number one ranking. We're into the top 10. We're close. I'd like to see that happen. But the only reason, because those factors alone are what would put this on the chopping block, but I'd keep it going and going. But the only reason that, besides that making it vulnerable, that I would be letting it go is that both FM23, which is already out in beta, but the full release in about a week and a half from now, and then Victoria 3, just days away from its release, actually, just a couple days away from its release now. So those two are going to be coming to the channel with regularity. The F1 Manager and PCM are going very well. Here's the thing about Tennis Manager, though. I will be back for Tennis Manager 23, without a doubt. I enjoy the franchise. I very much recommend it as, if you enjoy sports management games, even if tennis is not your thing, it's a fun game. It is absolutely a fun game, and I'm looking forward to the next release. Very much a yearly release type thing with this one. And yeah, well, anyway, we're gonna get some kind of quick highlights of things as I push through. I'm gonna try to get to the end of the season within this episode. I don't know if we'll get any live action. I think the only way we would is if it's a final of a major tournament, and even then we'll go pretty quick, so that way I can get you more longevity to at least finish up the 2026 year. Speaking of, let's get to it. Lackey has had one of those mental upgrades with 4 points coming in, confidence all the way up to a 13 now. So it is the next slam, so hopefully we do get to that stage. It would be really nice if we were playing in a final here. Uni, the 9th seed, 9th ranked player. Allison Risky is the first round matchup, and we should be, Kasatseva is the toughest opponent that we have through the round of 32, so we should be seeing our way at least into the round of 16. First round awfully close, 7-5, 6-4. Good news, Sabalenka out in the first round, so that's the 1 seed down. Grant out in the first round. The 12 seed out in the first round via forfeit. Nagunye upset in the first round. She's out, beaten by a qualifier. Disappointing with so many players here that we end up with Lackey having to play against Hetherington, guaranteed that one of her team members go down in that first round. It's Lackey who moves on. And Jovic getting a wild card already out in the first round as well. She had a tough draw playing a top 25 player. Osaka now the highest ranked player left. Second round is 6-1, 7-5, so we continue on. Hopefully we can find some momentum, some rhythm here with a couple early wins. Kostanseva knocked out in round 2, so we actually get an easier matchup for the round of 32. 6-2, 6-0 on this one, so we move forward quite easily. Lackey was beaten by Iala in the round of 32. So round of 16 matchups, we have a favorable one, and potentially Jennifer Brady in the quarterfinals. But we're not going to get to the quarterfinals. Machova, who we'd only ever played once before, she is now 2-0 against us all time. 83 winners for her, 65 for us. Unforced errors, almost identical. Aces were identical, though we did have a couple double faults. It's only 2 points given away there. 17 times we faced breakpoint. We won 12 of those, but we lost 5. That means we were broken, 5 times. So Hetherington just won a small level tournament, and as a result, her fighting spirit, confidence, killer instinct all going up. One of those +4 mental ones. Good for her. And Jovic is asking once again to end the contract. Now, actually, no one is in terrible conditions right now, but I would love to get rid of Jovic. She's done absolutely nothing, is not developing in the slightest. I don't understand what's up with this game and not ending contracts early. I get it, the push, the desire. I get that maybe on the first time, it comes down as a warning or something, and then eventually, it becomes end of contract. I'm actually really half tempted to fire her right now and just bring somebody in. She wants the contract terminated. I'm agreeing to terminate the contract, but the contract remains the same. And I'm the only one she's upset with. Everybody else she likes. And it's because she's not accomplishing her goals, but that's because she's a piece of crap player who has not developed at all. Her speed was an 8 when we signed her. It's a 9. We've had her for like 3 years, and that's all I focus on. That's all I train. And she's made almost no progress anywhere else. She's still a 2-star talent. I've brought her from nothing in the rankings up to 127, but still, she's not getting any better. 470 tournament, and we are in a difficult draw. 7 seed against the 9 seed. Nagunya is here as well. She got a really tough draw. I'm not sure that any of us are going to go too far in this tournament. Yeah, we're actually out in the first round. Rybakina has beaten us 6-7, 4-6. Hetherington, with 2 straight tournament victories, ends up with a serious injury in her next tournament, so she is out. And that is a dislocation in the ankle. It's going to leave her out for roughly a month. So sucks for her, just as she's building some momentum. Following the first round exit in the U.S. Open, Sabalenka has slipped from 1st to 3rd in the rankings. Uni is still 9th. Unfortunately, we've had a terrible draw having to play each other. I mean, there's only 32 here, and there are 16 seeded players, but to see, not getting the 16 separated and then the other 16 being played against them, it's weird that tennis does that. Tennis does that. It's not the game doing that to us. That's how tennis is. But it's weird. Realistically, I think maybe they do have the top 8 or something getting seeded somehow. I mean, it looks like maybe that. You have 1, and then you have 8, and then you have 4, you have 7, you have 6, 3, 5, and 2. So yes, the top 8 were seeded in. But it's weird that you have a seeding, but you're not seeded. You're not seeded into a place. That's the whole point of seedings. Well, what's the point of having them if you're not actually doing anything with them? Not a loss. We've beaten Sabalenka, though, so could this be our path forward? We've done actually well. It was funny. Last year, we did well in the slams, but not in the 900, 1,000 tournaments. Here, we've picked up a victory, and already, we just beat the player who was number 1 a very short while ago. Second round's not getting much easier. It's Halep. I don't want to drop names. I really don't when I'm not certain, but I do know that someone this past week just tested positive and is facing a ban. I'm not going to make the connection, but if you understand the connection I'm trying to make without naming names, I want to say who it was, I believe. Might not have been, but it was definitely a top player. I googled it. It is Halep. It is Halep. That's who I thought it was. Just a couple days ago. 6-1, 6-1 in the third round. We continue on. Win or lose at this point, it's already become a good tournament for Vertova, who, by the way, won the U.S. Open. So for Vertova, that's why she's the number 1 ranked player now. Swiatek is into one final. She's slipped to 7th in the rankings. We're, of course, 9th. Iyala is 5th right now, and that's who we play in the semifinals. So we've got to get past Iyala to get to Swiatek, but the very least, we've made a semifinal, and that's looking good. We will not play in the final, though. Iyala has just squeezed past us here. We won the second set. We took it to tiebreakers in the third set, just couldn't quite. Plus 10 on the winners. There wasn't unforced errors. We won a majority of the points. It's like across the board, everywhere you look. It's surprising we didn't win. I'm not sure how Iyala beat us when we have the statistical advantage just about everywhere. Better serve points, better return points, better service numbers, better on first serve points, better on second serve points, better on break points. We just face them more often, but total number lost is still 2 for either of us. Statistically, we won this match, but she will play in the final. She won where it counted. Swiatek has won the tournament. The next week is another 900 level tournament, already round of 16, but Anisimova has knocked us out of this tournament here a little bit earlier than the last one. But again, we're looking at a statistical advantage and yet somehow losing. Before I wrap the series up, which we're not there yet, we've got a month to go, but I wanted to make one very quick minor critique, and that is the balancing on training is off. I get that an early bloomer is going to develop faster. I get that late bloomers are going to develop later. Right? Standard and that middle ground. I totally get and totally understand that you've got these 3 different periods of when you're going to see greater amounts of development. What I don't understand is that when you're outside of that period, how development is completely non-existent, right? Nguyen is making literally 0 progress. She can train and train and train and train and train and gain nothing. Play and play and play and gain nothing, virtually. I mean, it's not exactly 0, but it is so close to 0 that it makes having a player like that completely irrelevant. There should still be development. I'd like to see the game scaled in the future, where if you have the 3 periods, right, that instead of night and day differences between when your stronger period is and the other 2, instead of total night and day, I'd rather just see a boost. You train better at this period. You still train during the other periods. Otherwise, it really defeats the purpose of having anyone outside of that window, outside of that development window, because you can do absolutely nothing with them. And status quo is very much not this game. They're always looking to get better. So if you can't develop their skills, they're not going to get any better. So there's nothing you can do as a manager. We have 100% training facilities. 100%. We have some of the best staff in the world. Not across the board yet, but we have some of the best staff in the world. And yet, I can't get Nguyen or anybody who's outside of their window to develop whatsoever. That's something I'd like to see changed. I love that there is different periods, that there's, that some players are going to develop better at different times. But to not develop at all is my critique. That's my problem. So Uni has made the next gen finals. Lackey has made them as well. So we are both here. Lackey was the last seed entering this one. I think she actually took it away from Nguyen. Nguyen would have been in this as well. First match against the other Fruvertova, the 29th ranked 21-year-old. And we don't manage to win this one. We lose in 5 sets, 2-3. Ouch. Really? How did that happen? Uni has not had a very good second half of this year. She's made so many. Statistically, she should be coming out on top. Somebody mentioned that they think it might be the mental stats in the comments about a week ago, and I think you might be right. I mean, everything about our last few matches that we've lost, everything about them suggests that we should have won, yet we haven't. And I think it could have something to do with Uni's age and her low, like the uncontrollable mentals that occasionally pop up. She should have won that match quite easily, actually. Belyek is the next one. She's 36th in the rankings, 20-year-old. We should be on the winning end of this, but same with the last one. This time we do win in 4 sets. 4-2, 4-0, 2-4, and 4-2. Similar numbers, but, slightly better. And this time it's enough to win. Fruvertova is actually 2-0. She beat Iyala and Belyek. So that means she's already guaranteed. It depends on who wins between Iyala and myself. Lackey, meanwhile, is 1-2. So she's out. Iyala is a much harder win. 2-2 all time. We've beaten Iyala 4-1, 4-0, 4-2. And so we do get out of the group phase. Okay. Let's see what we can do in the semifinals. It's against Brenda Fruvertova, the top opponent that we're going to face. Lucky, of course, group phase. Will it be an all Fruvertova final, or can we get the upset? We're quick simming here, folks. If we're in the final, that's going to be the last match we play. I think we've made it down 2-0. We've battled back, winning 3 straight to win the overall 9 aces. Wow, 61 winners. Unforced errors was actually -5. I think the +8 on aces is the difference. In fact, we only won by 5 points. Our serve has gotten us through for the first time in our career. That's the first time we've seen anything like that. And it's going to be a rematch with Fruvertova, who beat us in the group phase, where we actually had the statistical advantage. Let's see, are we going to be the next gen final champion? Can we at least go down with something major such as that? All right, for the sake of time, we have got to go fast. Now remember, these sets are much shorter, much faster. I don't think there's any, like, you're not having deuce. It's not like back and forth. You get ahead, you're going to win.
15-40.
15-40. We're up 3 games to 1, by the way. Double fault, and there's the first set. 4-1.
Second set.
Okay, we won't go quite as fast this time, but that's 1 set, and that's 1 set in our favor. Starting with service here in set number 2. First game, deuce. But yeah, there you go. It was deuce, and instead of going to advantage, we won. After losing the first 2 sets, we came back to beat Iyala.
Second set.
3 straight sets. So getting up 2 sets is fantastic, but it is not job done. But let's see if we can.
Game and second.
And we do. 4-0. Okay, that's 2 sets.
Third
All we
set.
need is 1 more, and we get 3
Four.
opportunities to
Second
do it.
set.
And we will be the next gen finals champion. Nice ball on the edge there, but playing it well. You can see she's struggling to return our balls. We got firm control here. We're moving around the court much easier than she is.
Out. 30 love.
30 love.
Second service. 13,
Nice return
15.
there. Deserved that point. Flat-footed us.
40,
That one's out.
15.
40-15. By the way, I just came from the Portland Thorns soccer slash football team. NWSL, it's the women's team, local team. They have or had, not this season,
Out. 40-30.
but had the largest average audience of any women's professional team in the entire world. They had the streak going for quite a few years, and then
Game.
last year, this year, post-COVID, plus part of it in response to a bit of a scandal with
Out. 15 low.
previous coach.
Let. Fault. Second
And
service.
well, anyway, kind of in response to that, some of the fans were protesting this year, so attendance was down a little bit. But we in the U.S. have
15-0.
playoffs. You don't just have your table at the end of the season and that
30,
determines your
15.
champion. We are up one game here, but we are
Second service.
trailing in this second game. Oh, nice. Surprised she was able to return that one. She barely got her racket to that. Anyway, so we have playoffs. It's the playoffs. It's the semifinals. And I just came from our
40,
home
15.
semifinal matchup with a 94th
service.
minute rocket ship that
40-30.
slammed into the upper corner to win 2-1 by Crystal Dunn. Fantastic player, U.S. Women's National Team. Many of you, if you've ever seen
One game all.
the Women's World Cup, would know that name. Crystal Dunn, who, mind you, just gave birth just a matter of weeks ago and had missed the entire season up to this point, and just
Love. 15.
just came back and has been coming off the bench late in just the last few weeks, coming back pretty quickly, and she came off the bench
Out.
pretty late in the game.
15-0.
We had a corner kick and partial clearance, and ball got played across,
15.
face a goal towards the outer edge of the box, and she stepped up to it and just slammed it and put it up in the upper
40-15.
corner. And oh my gosh, I've had the voice issues all week from the smoke and the dust from the work outside all week long. If this is the only series you follow, you're not aware of that. But yeah, I was working outside all week with
40-30.
some pretty nasty conditions.
4. Second
and
service.
so my voice has been
Juice.
iffy all week, but screaming at the end of that game really did a number on my voice. It's 1-1, by the way, and it's deuce. This is a winner, and that is a winner right there. 2-1. Remember, no advantage here.
Second service.
They really get to the point on these next gen junior tournaments, under 21 tournaments in this case. Both of them do that.
Love.
That went over? Yes, it did. A 15. Chance to really put ourselves in that position we would
15-0.
need to be in to put this thing away if we go
Late.
up. If we were to go up 3-1
4.
here
Second service.
with 2 sets already, I mean that would be all but the final nail in the coffin. Oof, just kept that one in. Attacking the net. Got the winner.
15-30.
Leading here.
Out.
Wide.
15-40.
15-40. Break point. Anyway, the team they were playing is San Diego Wave, led by Alex Morgan, which,
30-40.
that, of course, is the most well-known name in women's professional soccer.
Deuce.
Back to deuce. 2 straight points given up here. This is our 3rd chance to break. Oh, come on, Uni. What was... Ow. Uni. Monumental collapse on that one. That was not a hard ball to play at
15-0.
all.
4.
Even I could have
Second
reached
service.
that ball. Which I've been playing racquetball lately. It's fun. We'll switch to tennis eventually, but it's a lot easier to chase the ball down in a racquetball court than it is
30 low.
on the much more expansive tennis court. I do have some tennis courts not far from my house that I'd love to get out there here at some point.
40
Nice.
love.
40 love. Okay.
Four.
It
Second
should be
service.
3 games 1 here, but it's 2-2. We have a chance to at least get up 3-2 on this one and just about put this thing away. Oh,
40,
that one was
15.
played well by Fruvertova, but I think Uni still could have reached that ball. We just didn't take the best angle to it. We would have been a sit and duck on the next ball, but we at least could have got it over and in play, and there we go. There's that winner. Now it's 3-2. Now we're just a game away. This will be the icing on the cake that we really wanted. It's, it's not a Grand Slam, but a Next Gen Finals champion and, somebody well on their way to Grand Slams. It was just a matter of time.
30 love. Second service.
Certainly an inevitability.
House.
go.
40
Wide.
love.
Looks like this
Second
is going to get
service.
pushed to that next game.
House. 40
Out.
15. Second service. House.
Out
40,
again.
30.
Okay, come on. Let's go.
Tiebreak. 3 games all.
Tiebreaker. Straight into the tiebreaker here. We give away the first one.
1 all.
We're exchanging return
Four.
duels.
Second service.
We're taking that service, each of us, and just like, I got this, and slamming it back the other way. Now leading 2-1. I don't know how many points the tiebreaker is to. I don't think it's to the traditional 7. I think it's more like 5 or something like that. We lead 3-1.
Second service.
So with less points involved, every point matters a little bit more. So being up by 2 right now is massive. 4-1. It's not saying match point, so I think it might be more than 5. Well played, well played. Ooh. Gotta give her that one. 4-2.
4. Second service.
Come on, Uni. Let's go, let's go. You gotta start working her. There you go. Work that edge. Work that edge. Now you're on the front foot. Now you're on the front foot. Take control. Finish it off. Never did. We got the upper hand, and then
House.
just never
4 all.
really went for it
Four.
at that point.
Second service.
Never tried to finish it off like we're doing here. That was taking control, taking matters into your own hand, going on the attack. 5-4. Still not saying anything about match point, so it must be to 7. Now it says match point. Match point. 6-4. Single point. There it is. Game, set, match. Next Gen Finals winner. At least we get that. Manager level also pushing up to 6 here right at the end. It's mid-November. We've got about a week to go here in the season. And last thing for us is the junior finals. We still qualify. They still keep forcing us into these tournaments that we don't want to be a part of, but because we qualify, here we are. First round, Sekarakova got the win. Second match against Ravenholt, comfortable win. That should see us already out of the group phase, but we have one more to play. The number 2 player is still comfortable for us, 6-4, 6-0. That's a group phase dominance onto the semis. Here are the semifinals and the rankings of each player. By the way, we sit 4th. Kruger and Ravenholt on the other side of Kovakova and myself. Semifinal 1, 6-1, 6-1. We're not going to play this final out live. Kruger shouldn't offer us much of a, win or lose. I don't care necessarily what happens in this last match. We've moved on from the juniors a long time ago. Ravenholt actually ended up forfeiting in the second set, but it looks like she was about to lose anyway. It was already a loss in the first set, and Kruger had 5 games already in the second set. I don't know how many Ravenholt might have had, as it doesn't show. Number 1 junior, no match for us. 6-1, 6-1. That is another junior championship for Uni. Here's our goals for the year. You could see in 4 out of the 6 players, 100%. We easily met our goals with sponsors. Is this just partner equipment sponsors? It might be. Nagunye had a really rough go because she never got over the fact that I disagreed with her on her ranking, and I knew that her expectation was impossible. I tried to set the bar a little bit lower, and she absolutely refused to accept that. So Nagunye has been a huge bust and massively disappointing. Hetherington is really the only proper player that we have besides Uni. Grant is slowly getting there. It's nice to see at least one of those 2 initial ones that we had has made some progress, but it's been still minor at best. Jovic has been the most disappointing player I've ever had in the history of this game, by far. No progress in years. Has demanded that we break contract half a dozen times, and I've agreed every time, and she's never left. And we had a very long deal because she was supposed to be a long-term project where we expected to see gains, and that just never materialized. Lackey has done okay, but is not progressing very fast. And Nagunye has been the other one that's been really disappointing. That is just not progressing at all and was, mad from day one. And Nagunye has actually fallen 20 spots in the rankings. She was 52nd. Now she's 72nd. Uni remains 9th. Winning the junior finals will do nothing to help that, as there's no World Tour points for that. And of course, as Uni has been the primary, and as we're wrapping things up here in just a moment, I do want to show you where Uni is at. As an 18-year-old, we'll finally age out of the juniors. That would not be a factor next season. We still have her signed up through next year. Would, of course, look to retain her long term. Physicals, lots of 17s with bonuses. I would see her at almost 20 across the board, other than stamina, which doesn't matter as much in the women's game. 15's good. So physically, she is one of the best in the world. Mentally, and the ones we can control other than positioning, 19s and 20s. Almost perfect. The mental that we can't control, the confidence, 13, composure, 12, killer instinct, still just 9, fighting spirit, just 10. And I think that's where she falls into trouble. It's not other things. And play style, the kill shots, the specific skill shots that you use to get winners, the volley, the drop shot, the lob, smash, hot shots, have been climbing rapidly over the course of this season. 11-9, 11-14-9. They're not at the 5s and 6s and 8s that they were earlier. But even then, they're not making much of a difference in terms of winners. She doesn't use them often based on the play style, which is why we didn't focus on them. What we are using is the spins and the return, and all of those are 16 plus. The only technical skill that is not is serve power at 15. And I was actually working on that here towards the end of this season. Had just hit 15. I've got that most of the way to a 16 now. So technically, 16s, 17s is definitely not. That's the key, right? Mentally, physically, she's almost maxed out. Technically, there's a little bit further to go yet, right? I've been trying to bring the skill shot. I've been alternating. So what I've been doing the last handful of months of the season is I was taking one skill shot at a time and bringing it up a level, and then making sure that I was also getting one of the other technical attributes and leveling them up. So just recently, I brought forehand power from a 16 up to a 17. That was the most recent one that I brought up. Backhand accuracy is at 99% right now. It's 99.5%. So one more week and Uni's backhand accuracy will be a 17. That serve power is close of being a 16. So she is, on the verge of cracking that top five and getting those Grand Slam wins. Maybe next season, she could be on for one. I think she was about one year away from making that, but that's quite a few episodes to get there, to get to that point. We have won a 1,000 level tournament, so we've had a big win. We just won the next gen finals, so we've had two big wins in our career with Uni, and I think it's only a matter of time till she would be a regular Grand Slam winner, a number one player. There are, what was it, 6, 7 5-star players. Uni's not one of them, right? She's right where she belongs in the rankings right now, but she'd be 5-star by next year, by the end of next year anyway. And that's why I was saying maybe next year she would get that first win, but unfortunately we won't see it. This series is coming to an end. Thank you for tuning in. Don't worry, Tennis Manager will be back with the Tennis Manager 23 release, which, I don't know, what are we, 6 months, I'd say? So we've got a ways yet. In the meantime, please do check out my other series, whether it's Pro Cycling Manager, whether it's F1 Manager, or the new ones coming in Victoria 3 and FM 23. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.